Hi, everybody. Ron Placone here. And first of all, yes, I did cut myself shaving, but that's kind of appropriate because we are talking about the Joker, Jared Leto's Joker, which he'll be portraying the Joker in the upcoming Suicide Squad movie that's set to be released in August of 2016. That image circled around the internet over the weekend, and a lot of people have been responding to it. Now, if you haven't seen the image, definitely look it up. Google image it. It's definitely worth seeing. He has green hair, he has very pale skin, kind of typical Joker in that regard. He doesn't have a shirt on in the photo, and Joker has a bunch of tattoos. He has ha 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 tattooed all over him. On his forehead, he has damage tattooed, and he's got the silver teeth. It's kind of a Hot Topic-esque looking Joker. It's a little different, and it's being greeted with mixed responses. Some people, a lot of the responses actually have been kind of on the negative. I kind of fall in that negative camp myself. I'm not so sure about it. When I think about the Joker, I think of a criminal mastermind, not somebody I'd see at the gathering of the Juggalos. Quick disclaimer, not trying to bash the Juggalos here. I don't know much about the Juggalo subculture. I know very little about it. But the one thing I do know is that when I was in college, I used to go to Taco Bell, because, you know, you're invincible and you can do that in college. And there was this guy there that was a Juggalo, and I knew that because he had it tattooed on his arm. I believe his name was Joe. I don't remember for sure. I could be remembering that as his name because that would be an easy association. Juggalo Joe, right? That makes sense. His first name could have been totally different. I used to know it. I don't know it anymore. But for all intents and purposes, we'll just say his name was Joe. And Joe would always give me free stuff. I don't know why. I guess he just liked the way I looked or liked my personality. I would just go in there, I would order my food, and Joe would always just give me a bunch of free stuff. He'd be like, "Hey, man, do you have any dietary restrictions? Are you vegetarian or vegan?" And I said, "No, I'm not." And I mean, honestly, I'm at a Taco Bell. I mean, honestly, who goes to a Taco Bell that cares about their diet whatsoever? And then Joe would just give me all kinds of free stuff. He'd give me free tacos. He'd give me free orders of nachos. He would just load up my food bag with all kinds of stuff that I did not want. That I was happy to have it, but I did not pay for it. I did not order it. It was just free stuff that he put in there. And Joe's the only Juggalo I ever met in my life, and he was a very nice guy. So that's my only point of reference. I'm just saying I don't really expect the Joker to kind of look like that. And the Joker looks like somebody who just got mad because of their tattoo on their forehead got them fired from the gig at Taco Bell or something like that. But so I was a little disappointed. However, as the title of this video implies, I think this was the inevitable next step for the Joker. I think that this was the only possible portrayal for an upcoming film. And there's a number of reasons that I feel this way. All right, first of all, the history of the character. All right, there's been a number of portrayals of the Joker in various platforms. You know, first of all, you have the old TV series where the Joker was almost kind of like a weak villain. I felt like, of course, that TV series was very comical. I'm referring to the Adam West thing. It was kind of a comic satirical take on Batman in general. They had the pals and the elaborate effects and all that, and the kind of, it was cheesy, right? I mean, that's the basic way to sum it up. It was a cheesy thing. So you had that generation. Later in the cartoons, I thought in the Batman the Animated Series, which is a brilliant animated series that I grew up with and a lot of millennials grew up with, and still one of my favorite superhero cartoon series to this day. But the Joker was one of the more, I thought, looked down upon villains or kind of overshadowed villains. The Penguin was very prominent in that series. Catwoman was very prominent in that series. Two-Face was one of the main events throughout that series. The Joker was a little more of like, it's been done. All right, and then over in the movies, you had Jack Nicholson. Of course, Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Joker. The Joker was more of a mobster, more of a businessman, more of a guy behind the scenes. Then he got betrayed, and you kind of saw that character fall from grace, but he was never really the tough guy. I mean, when Michael Keaton's Batman confronted the Joker, he just kind of punched him out right away. There wasn't really much going on there. And the Joker, he kind of had to try to get the girl to make Batman act okay. And then, of course, this leads us to the final talking point. Last but certainly not least, Heath Ledger. I don't think it'd be hard to find anybody that doesn't feel that Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker was anything short of brilliant. It was genius. And that added just a whole new dynamic to the character. He was this criminal mastermind, this psychopath, this sociopath that wanted nothing but pure destruction. He was also a tough guy. Remember the pencil scene when the guy, and he put his head down and he crushed it and the pencil went in the guy's eye? That was nuts. That was nuts. The Joker was a tough guy. The Joker wasn't scared to get run over by Batman's motorcycle. He had no fear. He had nothing. He was like, come get me, Batman. Whole new dynamic to the villain. He was fearless, and he kind of, you know, to paraphrase the quote from the movie, just wanted to see the world burn. So what's next for the Joker? Well, there have been various comics that have him portrayed as a more muscular, where he doesn't have a shirt on, he just has suspenders, and of course he's got the six-pack and then the V, and then he's the muscular, the big Joker. That's the obvious next step. That's where you have to go next. There's really nowhere else to go, because you have to take it a different direction than Heath Ledger took it. Jared Leto's really got his hands full. These are huge, huge, huge shoes to fill that Heath Ledger left. And that type of gig, that type of position, you're really going to be facing an uphill climb. So the only way to take the Joker was take it in a totally different direction that's never been done before. It may not work out. It may not be great. It may be awesome. Who knows? I don't know. Again, based on first appearance, I didn't really care too much of it. I was like, this looks like a kid that got beat up in high school, so he got a Hot Topic gift card, and it's never been the same since. It does not look like a criminal mastermind, but it's just one image. It's the first image. Who knows where he's going to go with it? And an image isn't everything. You know, appearance is a big deal for the Joker. It certainly means a lot, but it's not everything. Appearance is not everything. Except for the case in the one Batman movie where George Clooney had the armor nipples. That was there was no recovery from that. That was pretty much doomed from the get-go. But as far as the Jared Leto thing goes, over in the Suicide Squad movie that's going to come out in August of next year, you know, I'm still kind of open. You know, I wasn't too thrilled with the image. I know a lot of people weren't. Some people liked it. Some people thought it was great. I was kind of like, I'm not too impressed with this, but still excited to see what he does with the character. And again, I kind of feel like this was inevitable. You kind of had to take the Joker to a completely different height than it's been taken previously. And you've certainly got your work cut out for you, because Heath Ledger left a lot of brilliance on the screen. So it'll be a cool movie regardless. And this is Ron Placone signing out.